Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Superstars of Wrestling Review series for the 17th of July, 1993. Little less eventful program today, although there is a tag team championship match to be had. Tatanka against Brian Costello. Obviously, Tatanka's still undefeated, still trying to push him as hard as they can. Costello has been around before and done enhancement work, so nothing new there. He does have, he being Tatanka, some new feathers, so they kind of do go a little bit with that. Not as pronounced as the ones that Rick Martel pilfered, but still there. Big back body drop for Tatanka, and hits a few chops. And Tatanka manages to go to the outside, hits some chops on the outside, tosses him back in, and continues his strike assault. Tatanka is still a big deal. Doesn't really fall off until after the first loss to Ludwig Borga, which is still over almost a year away, something like that. We do see Borga, I think, before they cut off Superstars. I'm hoping they add Superstars more regularly, but I don't think they will. Anyway, chop by Tatanka, and then hits the Samoan drop for the win. Then we go to the announcement of the Lex Express. It's kind of awkward. Gorilla Monsoon basically begging people to truly support Lex Luger. It comes across really awkwardly. They basically said Luger's chartered a bus and he wants to meet people across the country. And knowing Lex Luger, as people have learned, there's no way he wanted to be as social as he needed to be for that to work. Johnny Polo and Adam Bomb out next. Polo, I don't really understand why they brought him in as a manager to begin with, but he's definitely there. Yellow contacts for Adam Bomb. The announcers get or the camera people get a really good view of that. Bomb, a big guy, and wrestles like one. Sidewalk slam early in the match, and goes to town pretty hard on his adversary. We kind of see Adam Bomb not being cut off from much, but we see him with a leaping, diving elbow, and sends the enhancement talents, which I believe is still Rich Myers, out to the floor. Clothesline inside out and sends him back into the ring. Slingshot clothesline over the top by Bomb, which is huge. A guy that size being able to leap over the top and not hurt somebody. Power bomb for the victory. 1, 2, 3. Face to face with Shawn Michaels. He is not worried about anybody, including Marty Jannetty or Mr. Perfect. He's kind of getting under the skin of Mean Gene Okerlund pretty aggressively. Then we see the Steiner brothers and Money Incorporated in one of their few TV matches. They are given a good, healthy bit of time, at least 10 minutes, if not longer. And it's a match. I mean, IRS and DiBiase may not be the intended people to sell the moves of the guy like Scott Steiner, who wants to throw you all over the place. IRS and DiBiase by this point certainly had been moving a bit slower. They do some very basic wrestling early. Scott Steiner and IRS start off with each other and get a couple minutes out of real basic stuff, hammerlocks, attempted kicks, and the like. DiBiase comes in and switches off with Rick Steiner. Odd that a couple years later, DiBiase would be managing the Steiners in a blunder by WCW. But anyway, Scott takes down DiBiase and tag off to IRS again. IRS ducks out of the ring, and Scott Steiner wants to get things going back in his general direction. Knee to the back. Scott Steiner sent to the outside. DiBiase cheats and tries to use the steel steps among other weaponry to gain an advantage. Rick Steiner on the inside Even the use of the steel steps, though, does not yield Money Inc. a victory. Attempted sleeper hold on Rick Steiner, and then a tag back off Scott and IRS. Pair off for a bit. There is a hot shot across the top rope that needs to be contended with. Big vertical suplex on Scott Steiner by DiBiase. It's interesting that the champions do look kind of weak in the match. I understand getting heat, but with new champions, you'd think they'd look a little better. There is a hot tag. Rick Steiner comes in. If I'm going to do a hot tag, I bring in Scott, but that's just me. Steiner lines all over the place. Rick Steiner manages to throw his opponent around. Scott comes in, all four guys in. Scott hits drop kicks, and Rick hits Steiner lines, and a Frankensteiner on Ted DiBiase is a bit of a surprise. The heels try to use the briefcase and manage to get themselves disqualified. That doesn't go very well. Obviously, SummerSlam report with Mean Gene Okerlund. Mean Gene now has, I guess, maybe some more matches. A Rest in Peace match. One of the worst SummerSlam matches ever. Giant Gonzalez and The Undertaker back at it. That's basically what they have to announce. They reiterate the war between Bret Hart and Jerry Lawler. Money Inc. out to complain about being discriminated against for the attempted use of the briefcase. And that is that. Harvey Whippleman with Mr. Hughes, or Mr. Hughes with Harvey Whippleman, depending on how you look at it. Out there for a match with Sonny Rogers. Rogers, an enhancement talent who really doesn't have much to contribute here. He gets ground down, punched, kicked, and face locked almost into submission. Undertaker leaves a black wreath for Mr. Hughes, so they're going with that feud. Hughes destroys the wreath post-match after hitting a modified choke slam on his opponent, and we move to the face-to-face with Bret Hart, and he's talking about Jerry Lawler, getting even with Lawler for making fun of his family, and you know, doing things with the family, and Harvey switched more towards pushing the destruction of The Undertaker at the hands of Giant Gonzalez, but more so seems focused in his promos on the eventual use of Mr. Hughes to get rid of The Undertaker. The Steiner brothers respond to Money Inc. and basically say they'll put the belts on the line at any time in the future, and that is the end of that. We move to the next week of Superstars here in a little bit.